Peace be with you, Tube. I'm Jean Daniel. I'm an Anglican priest in Montreal and a youth pastor, and I'm here to do what youth pastors do best: awkwardly overanalyze pop culture a few months late. So today we're looking at Disney's Encanto and St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. Beware, spoilers ahead for both Encanto and 1 Corinthians. You've had somewhere between 54 CE and last December to get caught up, so my apologies, but let's get with it. So what we're going to be looking at to begin with is the first song from the musical, The Family Madrigal. And in this song, we'll be introduced to numerous characters and the idea of gifts, the idea of talents and magical powers that exist within the family in this movie. So what does that have to do with 1 Corinthians 12? 1 Corinthians is a letter St. Paul wrote to a church in a city called Corinth, and in the 12th chapter he talks about spiritual gifts, the idea that we have different talents and abilities that are given by God to help us help others. One of the things that he says so poignantly in that chapter is, to all is a gift given, and that gift for the common good. And that is a very important point that I want to look at in the light of this Disney movie. What does it mean for everyone to have a gift? And what does it mean to use that gift for the common good? So I want to be looking at this wonderful movie with its beautiful music and see what we can learn. So let's go.
Morning, Abuela. My cousin's ceremony is tonight.
What's his gift?
We're gonna find out.
What's your gift?
Who's asking?
Okay, already we have a magical house. We have our lead character Mirabel, and we have these neighborhood children asking her questions. One of the things I want to be counting with you throughout the song are what are the gifts that we see Mirabel has, because she already has a few. So she is in a magical home. She seems to have some control over that home. That's a great gift. When the family is famous and renowned throughout the community, who are these kids comfortable coming up to and speaking to? Well, Mirabel. So to me, that's a gift. Am I biased because I'm a children's pastor? Yes. Am I right? Also, yes. So she has this gift of explaining things to kids that the kids somehow clearly already know about. Context, she says hello to Abuela, her grandfather. So we have a sense of intergenerational. Now that's kind of a buzzword that we like to use in church world to say that we are a community that goes from babies through grandparents and great-grandparents. There are too few occasions in many people's lives for intergenerational connection, and certainly the pandemic has made that even harder. But the idea of being connected across ages is really important, and it's an essential tradition in Christian community and beyond. So she says, "Good morning, Abuelo." She recognizes the connection to that previous generation, and now she's talking to kids. I'm already so excited. I'm just so excited. I'm the boy in yellow, clearly.
Well, I can't just talk about myself. I'm only part of the amazing Madrigals.
Who's all the amazing Madrigals?
Ah, you're not gonna leave me alone, are you? Casita, help me out. Drawers. Floors. Doors. Let's go. This is our home. We've got every generation.
Every generation.
So full of music, a rhythm of its own design.
It's so full of music and a rhythm of its own design, and I just think it's really exciting as we look through this movie to see that what kind of music does a magical and diverse family listen to? It's actually diverse music. So if you're ever in a church community that thinks there is one true genre of music, whether it's evangelical praise music or classical church music, no, there isn't one true kind. It's about matching the people, and this movie beautifully will show that musically as well.
This is my family, a perfect constellation. So many stars and everybody gets to shine. Whoa!
So many stars, everybody gets to shine. We already see her sisters shining. Note that Luisa, who we will learn is super strong, is exercising first thing in the morning. And that teaches us something too about gifts, that even if we think of them as divine or magical, we may have a role to play in enhancing, developing, and practicing with our own gifts.
Let's be clear, Abuela runs this show. Whoa!
Abuela means grandmother. Grandmothers run the show. And that's true in many of our families. It's certainly true in many of our church communities. I remember a wonderful experience when I was a teenager where I went with my father to a country he hadn't been, with a family that spoke a language he didn't know. And we watched the grandmother of the family we were visiting sitting on a swing, looking at all of her grandchildren and kind of commanding everything that was happening at this family reunion. And my dad didn't know the language that was being spoken, but he said, "Ah, this is exactly how my mom operates." And I knew his mom, my own grandmother, of course, and it was true. But the elders who come before us running the show is not a bad thing innately, automatically. They have wisdom and so much to offer. And I like that Mirabel is showing from the start as well a gratitude, not just that grandma runs the show because she's grandma, but she led us here so many years ago. It's recognizing that where we are today is because of the good things that previous generations have done. It can also be because of the problematic things they've done, but there is a gratitude that is essential and here.
She let us here so many years ago. Whoa! And every year our family blessings grow.
But Jean-Daniel, this is a Disney movie. You shouldn't make it so churchy. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the word blessings there. He's just handing this on a platter for me. The imagery is not subtle, but it's important that spiritual community doesn't have to exist in a formal church, but the church is where it's supposed to be doing its job well. And the family is another place where it's supposed to be doing its job well. And that being combined together makes blessings grow.
There's just a lot you simply got to know. So, welcome to Family Madrigal, the home of the family Madrigal. We're on our way, where all the people are fantastical and magical. I'm part of Family Madrigal.
Okay, all of the people are fantastical and magical. Yes, Mirabel, all of the people are fantastical and magical. There are no people without gifts. There are no people without gifts, not in the Madrigal family, not in your family, not in your local church, not on this world. There are no people without gifts. All of the people are fantastical and magical. Another thing she says as she's singing to the children that I really love with my theory that Mirabel is the ultimate children's minister. She says there's simply a lot that you've got to know. I've worked many years teaching kids in church, and sometimes there are people who think, oh, with kids, you just want to have fun. They don't need to learn anything. No, you need to know names. You need to know stories. You need to be able to connect. There are things you need to know. The question is, are you going to teach them in a fun way? And Mirabel absolutely is.
Oh my gosh, it's them! What are they saying? I can't remember. Oh, I don't know. Who is who?
All right, relax.
It is physically impossible to relax. That's everything. What are your powers? Just tell us what everyone can do.
And that's why coffee's for grown-ups.
And that's an actual conversation that I have had at coffee hour with small children. The enthusiasm and the taking away the coffee cup. Oh.
My tia Peppa, her mood affects the weather. When she's unhappy, well, the temperature gets weird. My Theo Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
We're going to talk about Bruno. We're going to wait to his song, but we need to talk about Bruno. So we already see two spiritual gifts, magical gifts, powers that exist in this family. Tia Peppa, her mood affects the weather. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is that a burden or a gift? Well, I think we'll see that throughout the film, that's a lot of pressure. But I think we all know people whose mood affects the mood of everybody around them. And if they're in a good mood, hallelujah. If they're in a bad mood, Lord have mercy. But the Tia Peppas exist in our lives. Perhaps we are somebody's Tia Peppa. Our mood affects the weather. Bruno, they say he saw the future. One day he disappeared. We don't talk about him. So with Tia Peppa, we have this complex gift. With Bruno, we have a gift that is villainized and misunderstood and feared. But it actually is no less of a gift.
They say he saw the future. One day he disappeared. Oh, and that's why Mom Julieta here's her deal. Whoa, the truth is she can heal you with a meal. Whoa.
She can heal you with a meal. The symbolism. It's everywhere, guys. It's friends, the symbolism. It's everywhere. She can heal you with a meal. The ancient tradition that we have in the Christian community is that we get together for a holy and healing meal. And I do believe that spiritually about Eucharist, communion, but I also believe it about just meals with family and loved ones. That Jesus gathered people together in meals at the wedding at Cana, at the Last Supper, at the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. There's a power in sharing meals. And those who cook and share their recipes and their gifts, it is a real, downright, almost magical gift that the Julietas of our families and our churches and our world are offering. And I love that Mirabel is grateful.
Recipes are remedies for real. If you're impressed, imagine how I feel, Mom. Welcome.
Do you have talented parents? Are you impressed with them? Do you want your parents to be impressed with you? Remember to be impressed with them. This is a beautiful, healthy family dynamic, which this movie is not 100% beautiful, healthy family dynamics. But this moment with Mirabel and Julieta, so beautiful.
To the family Madrigal, the home of the family Madrigal. Hey, coming through! I know it sounds a bit fantastical and magical, but I'm part of the family Madrigal.
I know it sounds a bit fantastical and magical, but I'm part of it. Mirabel, this is just beautiful evangelism 101. St. Paul often talks about the foolishness of the gospel. What he means is you don't defend the magical and unrealistic things that you believe by pretending they're not magical. You just defend them by owning it, saying, yeah, it's fantastical, it's magical, I'm part of it, come witness it, come experience it. We don't downplay it, we own it, and we're excited about it. And if you have the gift of dancing, like Mirabel does, you dance about it.
I fell in love with family Madrigal, and now they're part of the family Madrigal. Felix married Peppa, and my dad married Julieta. That's how Abuela became an Abuela Madrigal. Let's go.
So many beautiful things happened really fast. She introduced her dad and her uncle, and she said they fell in love and they joined the family Madrigal. Often we talk about church community as a family, and it's a metaphor that I have some mixed feelings about, because I have some mixed feelings about families. Are they welcoming? Are they inclusive? Ideally, right? Ideally, your family is welcoming and inclusive and safe, but we know that we haven't all had that experience. Also, what is harder to get into than a new family? Anybody who's gone through the process of adoption or marriage into a family knows that it might be right, it might be good, but it's seldom easy. The other thing is, her dad and her uncle joined the family through love, and they're fully in. They are in the family Madrigal now. They're in it. They're not portrayed as having any magical powers, but they're fully part of the family. And it doesn't matter how or when somebody enters into a family or a community. If they're motivated in by love, they're in. And Mirabel notes that without them marrying in, Abuela couldn't be an Abuela, right? Grandma can't be grandma unless her kids marry people and have children with those people. So no matter how magical and fantastical we think our own family, community, or even our country is, its strength and its future depends upon welcoming and including those who seek to come in.
We swear to always help those around us and earn the miracle that somehow found us.
Abuela comes in. She sings so beautifully. Mirabel here is the epitome of exuberant joy. She, as I said, she's like the children's minister. She's making the story fun and exciting and drawing people in. Abuela comes in and she has a seriousness of reverence. And that's important too. And I love that this song includes both of those. The melody, of course, is foreshadowing a beautiful song that's significant in Abuela's own past. But it also just shows the connection between the generations. In the words she sings, though, we have a few things to look at. We swear to always help those around us, loving and serving others. This is a good thing. This is a holy thing. This is a sacred thing. It is an appropriate response to gifts and talents and privileges to say, I want to help others. But she commits an itsy-bitsy little problematic heresy when she says to earn the miracle. We don't earn miracles. We don't earn miracles. We don't earn miracles. Repeat after me. We don't earn miracles. What makes miracles miraculous is their inexplicability. And it is good to be motivated by gratitude to share the gifts that we have. But when we think we earn miracles, when we think that we can earn our talents, our gifts, even our money or our salvation, whatever it is we think we can earn that's miraculous, we can lose sight of a few important things. If we think we need to earn something that we have, it can lead us to feel a constant guilt or gnawing that I have to do more. There will be an internal pressure of I can never be enough because you can't earn it. If you believe that earning miracles is why you have the miracle, you can become really arrogant and think that you're special and be completely oblivious to all of the help and privilege and assistance you've gotten along the way. If you think that miracles are earned and you don't feel like you have a miracle, you can become jealous or you can become self-loathing and wonder, what's wrong with me? We don't earn miracles. We don't earn miracles.
The town keeps growing, the world keeps turning, but work and dedication will keep the miracle burning, and each new generation must keep the miracle burning.
This is just classic works righteousness. This is a problem throughout Christian history, the idea that we earn things. It's good to work. It's good to be dedicated, and it's good to pass the story and the traditions on to the next generations. All of those impulses that Abuela is expressing are good things. But the idea that they are what will keep the miracle burning isn't true in the plot of this movie, and it's not true in the wider sense of the miracles that we experience in our lives. Miracles come, we are grateful for them, we share the stories of them, but we don't earn them. And the idea that I have to earn the miracle is crushing. It is depressing, and it is wrong.
Wait, who's a sister and who's a cousin? There's so
This
many
family's
people.
big.
How do you keep them all straight? Okay. So many kids in our house, so let's turn the sound up. You know why? I think it's time for a grandkid roundup. Grandkid roundup.
The way she said grandkid roundup, I want Mirabel to lead campfire at church camp. So perfect.
In the Dolores, can hear a pin drop. Camilo shapeshifts. Antonio gets his gift today. My older sisters, Isabella and Luisa. One strong, one graceful, perfect in every way. Isabella. Grows a flower, the town goes wild. Isabella.
Luisa's strong, and Isabella grows flowers. Isabella's awesome. I love Isabella. This is not a critique of her, but Mirabel says she's perfect. No, she's not. No, she's not. We see already that Tia Pepa has this complicated gift that her mood affects the weather. Bruno has this vilified gift where people don't want to talk about it. Camilo has this gift that I think we mistake as just being for fun, which is not true. Dolores can hear everything. We don't yet understand the significance of that gift, but I think it's a profound one. Antonio gets his gift today. He gets his gift recognized today, right? He doesn't get the gift today. And part of why I'm recognizing that little detail, to go back where I should have mentioned it before, he has a ceremony recognizing the gift, but before the ceremony, we have some hints that Mirabel already knows what his gift is. So the ceremony is a response of recognition. Those who actually know and love Antonio already know what his gift is. And I think it works that way in our religious and family communities as well. That sometimes we have ways that we recognize people's gifts, we might celebrate. In my Christian community, we have a whole service called ordination, which recognizes a particular gift that ideally I have and celebrates it. I don't think we do enough in many church communities to celebrate the diversity of gifts and the diversity of ways people express their gifts. So I love the idea of a gift ceremony from this movie. I think it's something we should do proactively to celebrate people's gifts. But let's go to Isabella. She's perfect in every way. No, she's not. What she is somebody who is gifted with a gift that her family or her town or her culture happens to appreciate more than the other gifts. And there are certainly gifts and talents that any given moment of culture or capitalism or family dynamics might prize. So some families prize athleticism, some families prize music, some families prize academic achievement, but none of those are actually innately more important than other gifts, right? And making flowers is awesome. I kill every plant I touch. I covet Isabella, but she's not perfect just because she has a gift that is prized in her circumstances. And so if you have a gift that is really, really affirmed by everybody around you, that is fantastic, but you're not perfect. If you have a gift that isn't appreciated by those around you and isn't recognized by those around you, and I think that's Mirabel's case, where she is full of gifts. She's good with kids. She magically is controlling this house. She's a good teacher. She's a good singer. She's a good dancer. I can just list the gifts she's shown in this song. You might mistake yourself as not having a gift. So Isabella, not perfect in every way, but awesome.
She's a perfect golden child. And Lisa's super strong. The beauty and the blonde, you know wrong. That's the daddy. That's life in the family, Madrigal. Now you know the family, Madrigal. Where all the people are fantastical and magical. That's who we are in the family, Madrigal. Adios.
All of the people are fantastical and magical. We can't emphasize that enough. All of the people are fantastical and magical. All of the people. I remember doing this as a small child where I'd say, here's the church, here's the steeple, open the doors, and here are all of the people. And then I remember later in life a very compelling advertisement from a denomination that I wasn't in at the time that did that as a welcoming ad to say all of the people, all of the people. And at that time in my life, I belonged to a different religious community that was quite clear in its lack of full inclusion and welcome to all of the people. And I think we need to emphasize that in this movie and in our lives. All of the people are fantastical and magical. All of the people.
Oh, but what's your gift?
Accordion?
Well, I gotta go the life of a Madrigal. But now you all know the family Madrigal. I never meant this to get autobiographical. Just to review the family Madrigal. It starts with Abuela and then the Papa, she knows the weather. My mom Julieta can make you feel better with just one out of
This is just so fun. Okay, so Augustine is one who we don't consider as having a magical gift, right? He married into the family. And I love that she describes her dad by saying, you know, he's accident prone, but he means well. And I actually think meaning well is itself a wonderful gift, and that it's worthwhile to note. I also just love the love that she has for her parents. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. I love that when she introduced her dad and her uncle, they were smooching their wives. And I know there's something that's so awkward and uncomfortable for some young people to like see their parents in love. But if you are in love and still with your child's other parent, make your kids see it. Just make them see it. It's awkward and important.
Hey, you said you wanted to know what everyone does. I got sisters and cousins and but Primo Camilo won't stop until he makes you smile today.
So Camilo, he makes people smile. I think that's a great case of one use of a gift being recognized, but not necessarily knowing all of the power that he has.
My cousin Dolores can hear this whole corner's a mile away. My sister Mariana, you can marry my sister if you want to. Between you and me, it's kind of a prima donna or quick.
So when I do premarital counseling, one of the things I want to make sure is that the couple know each other very well. It's not about whether or not I like them or I would want to marry them. Sometimes they're really tense, like, oh, what's the right answer? To tell the pastor, I don't care, I'm not marrying you. I care that you know each other and that you are fully informed about what you're getting into. So I just love that, like, listen, if you want to marry my sister, here's what you need to know. And you do need to know this.
Too much and thank you, but I really gotta go. My family's amazing, and I'm in my family, so.
My family's amazing, and I'm in my family. That is the theological mic drop that Mirabel offers in this song. My family's amazing, and I'm in my family. when Paul talks about spiritual gifts, he does talk a little bit about what individual gifts people will have. But the most important lesson is that all the gifts function together as one body for the common good. If you are part of a community, whether it is your literal family or your chosen family, which can be just as sacred, you benefit from the spiritual gifts, the talents and abilities of everybody within that group. And they all benefit from yours. I'm in my family and my family's amazing. So it's not denial. It's not wrong. She is 100% right. And I think we can get jealous of the people around us because we're jealous of their gifts that we see in them. And they're probably jealous of some of your gifts. But jealousy is misunderstanding that you are part of a family, that you're a part of a team. There's no reason for jealousy. There's reason for cooperation.
What are you doing?
They were just asking about the family and...
She was about to tell us about her super awesome gift!
Oh, Mirabel didn't get one.
As we've seen, Mirabel has so many gifts. She has so many gifts. And one of the things that I find heartbreaking in this song, and I'll try not to get emotional, is that sometimes we have a narrow view of what gifts and talents can look like. But she sings, she dances, she engages with children, she controls the house, she plays the accordion. She's so gifted. She's also attuned and sensitive to everybody around her. She knows how to connect to the kids. She knows the stories, and she sees the best in all the people in her family. The gifts are overflowing in Mirabel. You have gifts too. You have gifts that other people recognize and appreciate, and you have gifts that other people don't yet see. You may have gifts that other people are scared of, like Bruno. You may have gifts that people cherish and prioritize, like Isabel. You may have gifts that people frankly exploit, like Luisa, and we'll see that. Or you may have gifts that are completely being overlooked by those around you, like Mirabel. But you have them. When Paul says that we all have gifts and they are for the common good, it's important to look back to the beginning, Genesis, where God says that we are created in God's image. Everyone you meet is created in the image and likeness of an infinite, creative, and loving God. And so within them is a reflection of a portion of that infinite love and creativity. You have a gift, and you're part of an amazing, fantastical family. I hope that you're part of an amazing, fantastical family that recognizes your gifts. But if you're not, you still have them. You still have them. The family of God is all fantastical and magical. Jean-Daniel, aren't you being an aggressively cheesy youth pastor? Oh, heavens, yes, I am. But I'm also right.